Welcome back, everyone, to the See the Stories, our signature segment of the 3-hour news show. So parents, including myself, play a crucial role in discovering, nurturing, helping their children to develop their unique talents. But somehow, some kids, or maybe myself and my friends, when we chatted, we felt like, yeah, my parent told me to take that major, but that's not necessarily what you wanted. Is that true?
That's certainly true, and it's not necessarily they asked me, they commanded me to take what is considered right and what is considered, valuable in their point of view. And it is essential to identify children's talents early on through interest tests so that their potential can be fully developed. I wish I had that kind of parents, though.
Yeah.
No, I love my mom and dad, but I wish still had that kind of parents, though.
Corrected. Yes, indeed, parents can uncover their children's hidden talents by paying attention to their hobbies and interests. They can also seek professional guidance through aptitude tests offered by educational institutions or tutoring services.
Once parents have a clearer understanding on their children's abilities, they can make informed decisions about their education. A suitable school with a nurturing environment and experienced teachers can significantly contribute to a child's talent development. All right, so Alia, talking about the study that we chatted right earlier on our off-air space. So, do you regret of the study that you took back then, or you really liked it? You took the industrial engineering.
I did
right?
take industrial engineering, and I have never been really in the industrial sector of like the real industrial sector, just to basically implement what I studied. But I guess the first thing that I understand, and I never regretted it because I thought it just shaped me into thinking technically in every kind of situation as well. So trying to understand things, not only, socially or maybe in terms of its knowledge, but yes, technically as well. And it helped me a lot in many, many cases. Like now, I'm working as a journalist, as a news anchor, moderator sometimes, and it did really help me in understanding many cases. Or many problems. What about you?
I took communication sciences, and I believe lots of...
You're a pro in communication, by the way.
Lots of people are regretful of taking that major because they think that one of the factors is about the salary. The salary is not really good, competitive compared to other professions here in Indonesia.
Yeah.
And I learned that a lot of my friends also regret of studying journalism because we have to admit that, medias in Indonesia and elsewhere around the globe, they don't really implement the principle of journalism fairly and impartially. They have their, vested interest and hidden agenda as well.
Vested interest.
What's the point of learning this subject if in reality
the norms are being ditched already?
Exactly. You cannot adapt and you cannot use and walk the talk. So that's got to be, discussed later in the next segment. But now, this is very interesting.
This is very interesting. And parents, you don't want to make any mistake, right? Discovering children's unique talents and interests early on can unlock their full potential. And that is exactly what inspired Monic Christian to establish Tes Bakat Indonesia. And today we'll dive into the topic with Monic herself, and together we'll explore how parents can identify and nurture their children's strengths from an early age. Monic, thank you so much for coming to see today's studio.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being here, Monic.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of share our stories. Some of us might regret what we took before we became like who we are right now. But for parents, let's say, I'm a parent of 3 as well. So how should parents begin to focus on their children's potential talents since the early age or early stage?
Okay, so what I believe, when you want to explore the kids' potentials and passion, different age will require different things. Do you know what? We just make a breakthrough in Tes Bakat Indonesia. You can send your kids as early as 1 year old.
Ooh.
Yeah, the function is so you will know the love language of the kids. Why? Because you cannot communicate yet, right? So at least you can fill them with the right ways to love them, so they will feel loved and secure, so they will not having this child inner child trauma. By the time 3 years old or 4 years old, you can use this assessment to know their multiple intelligences, so you know what kind of co-curricular they're suitable, you know what kind of toys. Now toys is very expensive, right?
Yeah.
The right toys that to stimulate the kids. Once your kids are at 5 years old, 6 years old, you're gonna send them to the primary school. You can use the assessment to know which kind of school, type of school, which kind of curriculum that's suitable for your kids.
And you can read that from the result of a test done by a 1-year-old.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, what are the, it's not that I'm saying that this is something that is, as you said, this is a breakthrough, but I mean for kids, isn't it better to stimulate them in as diverse as possible ways? I mean, even though perhaps that's not their passion, but shouldn't it be stimulated as well in order to just at least enrich their abilities?
Okay. So we have to differentiate between what is potentials and what is passion. Sometimes people get mixed up. Potential is something that you can do, that you have the ability and the potential. It's like a seed, right, that God given to you. If you have a seed of a orange, and you sow it and you take care of it, it will become orange. It will never become an apple, right? And it's genetically what God gives to you. But passion is something that you love, right? So it's two different things. Back to your questions, it depends. If me, what I do, if I took the assessment, so I observe, right? Of course, when they are very young, I observe them, right? After I observe what they like, what they are good at, I start to stimulate them with my observations. But after that, I will validate. What do I mean by validate? Because our observation can be wrong.
That's true.
So I validate it by using an assessment tools.
Right.
After I get the map of the kids, my first child, the potential, he really good at math and countings, while the second child of mine really good in art. So after I got the validation, I think it will be more effective, time saving and cost saving if I stimulate in the right spot.
Right.
But okay, you're saying that's, sorry to cut you there. I mean, you're saying that you found the potential, but does it necessarily mean that they're passionate about those potentials?
Okay, if me, I believe you can have a few potentials, but you don't have the passion in it, right? So, because we're a human being, we're not a robot, a machine, you will be very happy if you do what you like, right? So, what are the things that the way I choose, what are the things that, how to stimulate my kid is something that they do well and they really like it. For example, my first son, right? He really loves soccer and he's very kinesthetic, right? So, okay, because he do it well, he enjoy it, so he took the soccer lessons at the club. And one day I realized the assessment tool say that he have a good potential in music.
Okay.
And then I feel like I never see him playing music. So because I have that map, then I bring him to music lessons, right? Trial class. On the trial class, the teacher asked me, "Mom, where did he study before?" I took him to drum because he's very kinesthetic. I said, "Never, this is the first time I took trial." He said, "But he can do it very well." And I sent him to the music lessons. But after 3 months, he said, "Mom, I know I can do it, but I don't enjoy it. Should I keep on doing it?" I said, "If you feel that you already tried for 3 months, 4 months, you don't enjoy it, what's the point you continue? Even though you have the potential, but what's the point you continue?"
But did you ditch the soccer lesson?
No.
No, still. Soccer and music at the same time.
Yes, that's the difference. When he feel a bit tired or bored or being challenged in the soccer, because I know he started it since he was really young, like it's already been 2 years, I think. I said, no, you have to know the difference. When you want to quit because like you don't have the potential or because you don't have the patience, or
when you're
you want to
tired.
quit just because you're tired.
Yeah, true.
Right.
If you're
That's
just
the challenge with
tired,
kids.
when you're just tired,
When
no,
they're
you
bored,
have-
tired.
So you mentioned earlier that you can even, read or conclude a passion of a
Kids.
one-year-old kid, right? So can you walk us through the process until you can conclude and find a conclusion about, okay, this guy or this kid is very passionate about this topic?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to explain first. In Tes Bakat Indonesia, we have two kind of methods. The first one is actually the one that can take from the 1 years old is a fingerprint test, fingerprint analysis, because the research studies about these fingerprints is actually being created while you're still in the womb of your mom, and they connect to your brain. Different kind of the fingers, it's connect to different parts of your brain.
Right.
Different patterns, it interpret different things.
Right.
That's why it can, so it's called genetically. But once you reach 5 years old, you can have an assessment based on psychological tests.
Right.
The psychological test will give you the result of what your performance. Performance means something that has been stimulated well and you acquire the ability, right? So, for example, if you have the genetic potential but you never stimulate, it can be saying, oh, you have the potential, for example, like my son, in music, but never been stimulated.
Yeah.
Of course, when he took the assessment, the psychological test, it say you don't have passion in music.
I see.
So that's the difference.
Right, so that's why I was passionate when I was 1 year old. I was passionate in singing.
Okay.
But as I grow up, my voice is broken.
Yeah.
And I'm invited to DPR to disperse demonstrations.
If he did the fingerprint at as a one-year-old
One-year-old, yeah,
kid, I think they would have find out your passion for latte art.
You want to hear me singing?
Yeah, okay.
No, it's going to be, dispersing the show.
Dispersing the crowd. Okay, so we want to know, would there be any differences or changes in kids' potentials and passion when it comes to testing it at 1 year old stage, and then later on at 5 year old stage, and maybe later on when they're a little older?
Okay, the answers will be depends. I believe talking about patient, there are two kinds of patient. First is the momentary patients, which is means your patient changes over time because the seasons of your life, right? Maybe you just, during COVID, everybody love cooking, right? So it's like
But then reality hits that you're not that good at cooking, right?
right.
Or at singing?
Yeah. But the second kind of patient, it's called a core patient. Sometimes core patient is something that you really like when you are still young. It doesn't matter whether when you grow up, doesn't matter will it be your career or not, but you still love doing it. Can you guess what is my core patient since I was little?
Of course, something to do with human and trying to read human. Is it psychology?
Or makeup? Beauty,
Makeup. Oh.
I share to you, okay? So I always have two kinds of patients since I was little. So I told my parents I wanted to study, my first choice is psychology. But my parents say no, right?
Okay.
And then the second one that I proposed, I want to study broadcasting.
Oh.
Of course, another rejection.
You would have been joining us if
Right?
you did.
Yeah.
But now, when we look at today, so that passion is still there. That's why I built a company, a psychological company, right? And I still love to do broadcast, and look where we are now.
And you did take marketing and business.
I did take double majors, it's marketing and HR.
And
Marketing and HR.
Yeah.
That's why you're equipped with marketing skills and business skills,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
you're still now developing, a great business in psychology and human, interaction.
Nothing to regret, really.
And for the broadcast, am I an actress, TV presenters? No, but I built my content as a content creator. It's just a little bit similar.
I think your parent could read the future. Like your parents said,
Hang on.
there will be Instagram later on in life.
But this is the tendency of parents. They would motivate you or even push you to follow your what's the other thing apart from passion? Potential. They would push you to follow your potential because they would see that passion won't make money. Passion won't make life, right? Like drawing, like arts, like music. Sometimes it's quite challenging. This is the perspective of many parents that, you know, if you are into arts, that's not gonna take you anywhere. So just follow your potential. What if there's a mindset of the parents having that kind of mindset? Just follow the potential, because that potential will make you a better person in the future, make a better life, without putting into account the passion, the real passion of the kids.
Okay, some of the parents that came to us said, oh, I think my kid have to be a lawyer, a doctor, because it's
the usual,
the
usual
way. And then I need to educate them, right? I said, Mommy, do you know, now let's be fair. When you want your kids to be a doctor, do you know what is the salary? When you are in the doctor as the beginning, you have to work in the emergency room. Yeah, it's a minimum wage, like UMR lebih dikit, right? the minimum wage.
Just the bare minimum.
Yeah, right? Then do you know how much now a photographer make when they do really good, right? My friend make a shoot just for the food photography. One shot, it's 2.5 million. So if in the menu, it have 10 shots,
at least
he got at least 25 million.
Wow.
Right?
Not bad.
So the landscape are changing. The industry are changing. That's what I educate.
That's right.
And I also said, if you have passion, sometimes people are chasing passion blindlessly. Oh, I love passion, no money, it's okay, I love passion, I love this job, no money, it's okay, my passion. Man, for me, that's not being reasonable and not being responsible, right? But if you have patience, you choose what you want to do, but you have to make sure that your passion
realistically
can
finance yourself.
Yes.
So it's better to take that two steps, right? Follow your potential, because that will make money, and follow your passion, because in turn it will eventually make money as well if you do it passionately.
True.
And we're very good at it. Like for you, like for your passion is emceeing, I believe. Your passion is, you know, moderating, and it makes a lot of money.
Alhamdulillah. But I mean, okay, back to the story about how much you would make from one sort of like passion or even job. Nowadays, even the Gen Z, when they try to choose for their major, they really look up on what are the bare minimum income or salary would I get as a fresh grad of, let's say, a psychology fresh grad or like an economic study fresh grad. So they do follow that kind of rule right now, not like our years back then, right? So now let's see and hear more stories from your Tes Bakat Indonesia that really showcased how identifying a child's talent at the early age can actually change and maybe brightens their future. If you have any specific, example stories, success stories.
Okay, so I always remember this one person that came into the counseling room. When we read the data, I was a bit curious. Why this man already...
A man?
Yeah, this is a man, a young man, already in the last semester. And come to take the test. I was like, why? And from a very reputable university. So this is the last semester he will graduate, right?
Wow.
And then during the counseling session, he told us the reason why he took the test now, because he want to pursue a master's degree. And simply he said, you know, miss, I took an IT majors because I think now it's all about IT, right? I don't even know if IT is studying about 10101010. You know, I cannot take it. Even he fails a lot. He become having like a lot of suicidal thoughts, and
because it's very difficult for that specific university that is the top one in Jakarta.
He become feelings like a failure, and he even said, he feels like he's ruining his life because took the wrong majors.
Right.
When he asked the moms that I want to switch major, the mom just said, hey, come on, be responsible. You already choose, you have to finish.
Exactly.
So as simple as he said, I already messed up with my life during my university year.
But did he do well in that, like, you know, during?
Of course, no.
Of course not.
Of course not. He said, I already messed up so much in my life during my university years. He even deals with drugs just to enjoy the classes. He have this suicidal thoughts because he feel like a failure, you know.
To that extent.
Yeah, and he said, can you imagine, Miss, if I have to work in this industry?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why he took the test with us.
For
he
the
pursued
master's
for the master degree, and now,
And what
his
was the
career.
passion?
Yeah.
That specific person's passion or potential?
Okay. Actually, I kind of forgot that time because we always give like several, right?
Alternatives.
And then we suggest more to the medical, but not as the doctors, because we also see the personality. If you want to take doctor, you're not really comfortable with meeting with a lot of people. I say. So we suggest him that maybe you can consider more like like pharmaceutical chemistry,
right.
Or
you know?
nutritionist, for
Yeah.
example.
And last time I checked, and I also recommend him in Indonesia a few campuses that is very good for the life sciences, right? Last time I checked, he got like a very good GPA in it.
Oh, wow. So he continued his passion, not in IT, but in passion.
In a different field,
Yes,
completely
yes.
different.
Wow.
Yes.
Because that's what we felt, right, when we were kids. We followed what our parents commanded us to take. For example, they gave me this liberty to take, but I was heavily influenced by my sister, so I took communication. Although when I was in communication, I didn't really like it at first, but then I kind of enjoyed after the 5th semester.
Because you had to be responsible anyway.
Exactly,
Right.
and he finished the study, but then he switched
His major, his
onto another
master
field,
degree.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
actually, choosing the wrong major is not only wasting money, but for
Time.
It's wasting money,
Effort.
wasting
Your psychological
time,
side.
and
Your life.
sometimes it's wasting your life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because for example, if you want to become like a fashion designers, okay, but you took IT, and then you know, like fashion designer, you can learn by yourself taking courses, but you don't have the network. Who gonna take you into the fashion show and everything? You have to start over to search for the networks and everything.
True.
So it
All
takes
right.
a lot of time.
So, Monic, it's really great to talk to you, but we still have one segment left. So we're going to
Continue.
take a short break. So we'll continue our talk with Monic Christian after the break.